I know they don't look like us, Jack. But who's to say they won't take better care of this place? Get out of here!
Jack, it's okay. Oh!
Shit, sewer.
Oh my God.
Sewer,
Okay.
reverse.
Okay.
Reverse.
Okay.
Reverse.
Okay.
Come on.
The film starts in Brooklyn, where a couple, Jack and Sue, are spending the night in their apartments while on their phones and laptop. Sue is upset at Jack for using her computer and deleting the tabs she was looking at since it was for her job. As Jack tries to defend himself, Sue's boss changes her assignment to her frustration. He apologizes to her and they reconcile, but then they go back to the internet. The couple goes to a party where they meet up with some friends. Some of the friends are getting along in their lives and careers, while others feel they are stuck in a rut. One of the friends, Raph, talks about a recent experience he had and offers the couple a chance to stay at a cabin of his for some time away. Jack and Sue leave the party talking about Raph and expressing a disappointment in how their lives are now. The next day, Jack and Sue decide it's time to disconnect from their phones and internet to go to Raph's cabin. Sue calls her boss and leaves an email to request time off, only to discover that she's been fired. She tries to turn it around and figure it's a good thing. They spend the rest of the day in their apartment before packing later on and heading out on their trip. Meanwhile, up in the sky, a cluster of pods appear to be making their way toward Earth. Jack and Sue arrive at the cabin and proceed to spend time together. Jack is annoyed when Sue has come up with a list of ways that they can try to be a better couple, as he just wants to take in the scenery and nature. Sue convinces him to give a try, just as they start to hear what sound like distant gunshots. They later spend the night looking up at the stars, with some appearing as though they are falling to the ground. While in bed, Jack wakes up and starts yelling at a chair to leave them alone, but Sue doesn't see anything there. Out in the woods the next morning, a man is seen frantically running away from something. At the same time, Jack and Sue take a canoe out on the lake to meditate. The man almost comes near them until he is pulled away by the mysterious creature. While the couple feels at peace with the ambient sounds of nature, Jack is annoyed again that Sue has everything organized, which he equates to being the same as having a phone in hand. They jump out of the canoe and go back to the cabin to find a large fuzzy brown thing on the floor, which Sue calls a poof. After they take a shower together, the poof has disappeared. Jack goes to de-stress by chopping wood logs, and Sue finally caves and turns her phone back on. She finds a ton of texts and voice messages with commotion going on in the background, plus her mother talking about the creatures being described as rats, but her mom says that they aren't. Jack comes back and decides to agree with her on the list, while she hides that she turned her phone on. He starts to discuss his insecurities and feelings about himself, while Sue tries to reassure him he is fine. He tries to get Sue to confess something, but the most she can manage is that she eats her contacts out of habit. They are then startled by some kind of animal hitting the window, and then running out of sight. At night, Jack and Sue play cards and get drunk before they start making out. Outside of the cabin, Raph appears in the grass with blood on his head before he collapses to the ground dead. Standing behind him is the poof from earlier. Later, Jack wakes up to yell at something he sees again, only this time the poof is slightly noticeable in the darkness. In the morning, the couple finds that Jack's sourdough starter is gone, as well as their bottle of whiskey. Sue thinks that whatever consumed both items was in it for the ethanol, as she slightly recalls hearing her mother mention it. They then find the poof in their living room again, and when they try to approach it, it reveals its long tongue that it uses to stick to surfaces and swing from them. Jack and Sue freak out and lock their place down, and Sue confesses to turning her phone back on. Jack relents and decides to go back online to find out what they are dealing with. They find messages from their friends who have encountered devastation, and some of them are dead. Sue listens to the full message from her mom, who describes the creatures as aliens. They also hear a message from Raph, who said he was heading to the cabin, as well as mentioning a gun that is in there. The couple tries to drive into town to get cell service, only to find that the poof siphoned their gas. The couple finds Raph's gun and they grab other items around the house to use as improvised weapons. They gather their food and stay in the cabin for one more night, as they try to protect themselves. While sleeping, Jack wakes up yelling again, but he sees the poof taking Raph's appearance, telling him that the poofs will take better care of the planet than humans have. Sue snaps him out of it, and they see the poof, forcing them to run out of the cabin. They run to a barn where they find a truck and use it to escape. They spot a poof that almost takes their gas, but ultimately doesn't. They flee just as a whole pack of poofs start taking over the cabin. Jack and Sue drive down the road and see another van get attacked by poofs. Another couple steps out, but the poof kills them both by puncturing their heads with its tongue. As the poof spots Jack and Sue, Jack throws a wine bottle to try and get it away from them. The poof floats upwards and produces some kind of sonic wave that leaves a putrid smell. As the couple tries driving ahead, they hear a baby crying from the other truck. They argue over taking or leaving the baby, but ultimately their consciences win over, and they take the baby, who also happens to be named Jack. Just then, a woman appears and grabs the other couple's gun, telling Jack and Sue that she is taking their truck and even fires at them to prove she is serious. Jack and Sue take baby Jack into the woods to keep trying to move forward, but baby Jack needs a diaper change. After they take care of that, Jack and Sue start to feel trippy from the wave produced by the poof. They hallucinate until they pass out. They wake up to find baby Jack gone. As they start searching for him, another poof appears and tries to attack, hitting Jack with its tongue in the chest, but doesn't kill him. Sue hacks off its tongue and kills the creature, and they manage to find baby Jack. Jack was saved because his phone was in his shirt pocket, but it's now destroyed. The couple continues walking with baby Jack, and they see some kind of crystal formation. Sue tries to touch it but is blocked by some kind of force field. Jack tries to call someone, but his screen is too messed up to use, while Sue tries to make a call since she has a signal. As the three step around it, the crystal grows and encases them into a hardened bubble that is soundproof. Moments later, the bubble floats up to the sky with them still inside. Jack and Sue see a chopper flying over the woods before it drops a bomb in the area to wipe out the poofs. The three are brought high above the clouds, where other bubbles filled with people are brought up. As they wonder about their current situation, baby Jack starts to giggle, which puts Jack and Sue at ease, and they seem to accept their fate.